I'm going to use ZBrush for blocking out the bust for my character. I'm gonna start just from a simple sphere and using a move brush with the turned on symmetry. I will just tweak the base shapes in order to achieve the approximate look and basically just approximate volume for the character. So as I already mentioned, it's gonna be just a bust. So that's the reason why I'm using just a sphere. Also, the reason why I'm using just a sphere, I'm not really worried about the stretching of the polygons I will eventually get, is because the blocking out for the bust I'm gonna build will serve only as a guide for the character. So I'm not even, at this point, I don't even know if I'm actually gonna use this mesh for the actual character mesh. It could be just a simple guide for placement of the armor and the suit. So as you can see, I speeded up the video a little bit. Yeah, it's not my real speed, and I just keep tweaking it and trying to kind of achieve a very average shape for like an alien head, you know. As you can see, I'm changing the radius constantly, and now I switch, sometimes I switch from the move brush to standard brush so I can block out some other shapes. So at this point, I don't really have any specific idea, and especially taking in consideration the fact that this is just a guide for my for further polymodeling. I'm not even worried about any detail or how clean my stuff's gonna look. It's all about these big shapes and the big rhythm and the big volume. So right now I'm more concerned about how big is the head, what's the tilt of the head's gonna look like, how long the neck, how thick is the neck. And here you can see I'm already starting to add some big muscle shapes, but nothing really specific at this point. And here, check this out. I'm using equalize surface area in order to tessellate my stretched polygons a little bit more. You definitely don't want to do this for clean sculpting, but in this case, since I'm gonna just do I'm gonna use this for blocking out, I don't really care about if I will have like some triangles in that area, because what I'm gonna do in later on is just to cover this whole basically the whole bust with the armor and suit. One of the brushes I really like to use is the pinch brush with the, as you can see, modifier brush is higher as usual. It's like 44. I also turned on the Aki curve, which can be found also in alpha curve settings. So the cool thing about this brush is that it doesn't just pinch the surface; it also pushes it outside. So you don't just pinch the surface; you also build up the shapes with that, and it's really useful on when you want to make a really crispy, nice, clean edges. And usually, if I do sculpting, I usually use it for my details. But here, since I'm not going to I'm not gonna go crazy on details. This is just a very simple, basic bust sketch. I just want to make some accents for the structure and the bone, maybe like bony parts, you know. So you see, I'm adding stuff, and at the same time I'm smoothing. I do apply some smooth to the surface. So if I'm not really happy about it, I'm not necessarily undo this. I can just smooth out the area. So in the end, I will get the build up for the whole character like that. Now switching back to this standard brush. And again, to pinch and pinch in some other areas. Again, not worrying about any details. I just want to make sure the profile is kind of well balanced and is ready for the for the build up for the suit. So right now I'm thinking about how buff and how thick the character's feature is gonna be in the end, and I don't want to make him too buff, and especially thinking about putting a suit and armor on top of this guy right now, it's gonna be pretty thick. So what I'm doing right now is trying to define a little bit more structure and maybe thin up a little bit his neck, his trapezium, the cranium sculpture, the cranium structure, sorry. As you can see also, I'm constantly rotating around the model just so I make sure the rhythm and the curves work nice for all the camera angles. I think I'm pretty happy right now with the overall sketch for the bust, and I think we can move on and start blocking out the shapes and the suit and armor for the character.